Oh, yeah.
That's my jam.
It is. It's the Nerds to Men Jam. I'm Brad Reed. I'm joined by Cameo and Buck Berlin of New World Comics on this weekly podcast that we do where we talk about all the nerd stuff, TV, music, movies, and we got some good stuff today because we're going to talk about Luke Cage with spoilers. That's our Nerdflix and Chill.
Yes. Oh, man, that show, so amazing.
And then also we've got Ant-Man and Wasp, which we saw last night, but we aren't going to spoil that one. That would be
Why?
a jerk thing. It'd be a jerk thing to do.
So what?
We could spoil it, I don't know, next week might be too soon still, because it comes out Friday.
We'll see how everyone's talking about it. Like if it goes across, like Infinity War, everyone was talking about the end.
Yeah.
So it's all right, it's fair game.
We'll see how the box office does and base it off of that.
I feel like it's going to be like this one's going to be a little bit slower of a. I don't think it's going to get to like a whole lot of money real quick.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Just not Infinity War.
Yeah.
You know, like if you watch anime, I feel like this was a filler episode, but it was a good episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, just go see it. It's gonna be it's awesome. I like it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. So
We're live from New World Comics. This comic book shop is my favorite comic book shop.
Mine too.
It better be. We're in Oklahoma City, just south of 63rd Street on Meridian in Oklahoma City. I mentioned that already. Next to a Subway, so go grab some sandwiches, bring them to us, and join us for the show if you want. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get into it then, I think, for Ant-Man and the Wasp, because it was such a good movie, I really thought. And I'll say right off the bat, like, it was, we've had Infinity War, which was depressing.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Black Panther, which was, it was moving and it had a message to it. But Ant-Man and Wasp was just like more of just like a fun summer movie.
This was a nice all right, let's take a break. Let's breathe a little. Let's laugh a little.
yeah,
Right.
And I would say that it's definitely important to have that as kind of a placeholder of so we just kind of jumped right into the action with Infinity War. Let's take some time and explain where this takes place, why this is happening, and why this is important.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you get some insight into what is going on into the world.
yeah.
That you didn't necessarily get in Infinity War.
Exactly. It was more of a family movie, and not for, like, it wasn't, the others weren't for the family, but it was centered around family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Infinity War, the Avengers are family, but this one literally
It's about basically family.
Yeah.
So,
so it had a different tone to it, definitely. I thought the action was great.
Yes.
The story I thought was pretty good. I didn't ever feel like it was boring or anything like that. Kind of, I could see, like, some of it like felt kind of like Doctor Strange with the imagery and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool too. But overall, I thought, we said last night, like in we did a little after show video. If you brought your kids, it might be a pee movie, but for me, it was a no pee movie.
yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with our rating system, Buck.
Yeah.
If you don't mind going to pee during a movie, then it's not that good of a movie.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
right.
I can't say that I've ever been like, yeah, it's a P movie.
Yeah. There's some. I can't. I'm trying to think. I was watching just some movies recently that we've been doing it for our Jest World and Tangent World podcast, where we watch along with these movies, and I've seen some pretty bad ones, like Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, come on now.
Future World, which was the Westworld sequel. Not good movies, and those I would consider P movies, because you can get up, do whatever, do your taxes, come back, and you didn't miss much.
Dang, do your taxes? Wow.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, though, I love the Wasp.
Yes.
Evangeline Lilly. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Did y'all watch Lost back in the day?
Yes, I did.
That's why I watched Lost.
I watched.
Me too.
I only watched 2 episodes. I watched the first episode and the last episode.
Well, I maybe have
That's
mentioned.
really all you needed.
Yeah.
Was the first and the last episode.
No, the first 2 seasons were great.
Yeah, they were.
Then it was but
But see, when you invested that much time like was it like 20 episodes per season or something like that? It's like you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, and then there was the magazine and the video games and the
Yeah.
there was all the stuff that, like, if you were a super fan, they had all that content for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember one of the guys working for me was just enthralled with everything about
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I loved Lost for just a little bit, and then it became a labor of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back to Ant-Man and Wasp, like I say, some of it, I mean, it was a funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I think it was funnier than Thor Ragnarok, though.
Nah.
I think it was a different kind of.
You expected this one to be funny in a way because Paul Rudd. And,
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't necessarily. Thor Ragnarok, I think, kind of took you by surprise how funny it was.
And I think that it needed to, just to kind of take the edges off of all the weirdness that happens.
Right.
'Cause, I was trying to explain to someone why that works with Thor, and by making Thor funny makes it more believable, that, hey, he's got this hammer that, he throws and can bring it back. Because if you can laugh at that, then you can laugh at everything else.
Sure.
Man, Cord cracked me up. He was like, "Oh, your hammer pulled you off? That's wow."
Yeah, so it's things like that make it, oh, okay, yeah, it's okay to like Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it depends on who the crowd is that you see these movies with. Sometimes when, like, I've seen movies that I was with a crowd that laughed throughout the whole movie, and you're like, man, that movie was hilarious.
Yeah.
Then you go back, like, even the next night, and you're like, it was all right, I
You're
guess.
right,
Because it's just, but this one, our crowd wasn't, they laughed a lot, but I thought there either there was some lines that just didn't really make anybody laugh, or I'm not sure. I think there was just a couple of times where it was like, it's all, it wasn't that funny. But
Yeah.
I thought just the concept of being able to shrink everything, all that, just it plays really well in the movie.
And,
It looks fun.
they had some better jokes about that.
Yeah.
About if you're going to have size-changing problems, here's this.
Yeah.
Here's one of the problems that you wouldn't think of. Here's a situation that turns out is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, because see, some of the issues that he had issues with in the movie, he had issues with in the comics too, which is pretty funny. So I like how they, brought the comics, because they always give you like a little Easter egg from the comics in the movie. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
There was a Michael Pena.
Man,
I can't remember what his character's name is. Luis. He is the funniest part of both movies, I think.
Yeah.
He's great.
I was watching the first one today, and like the way he speaks, the way he delivers his lines is pretty ingenious. Like,
because he'll say the most heinous thing, but there's such an innocence.
right. And I'm not giving anything away in the movie, but when he was talking about how he hates how he loads the dishwasher, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, that was good. He was probably, like I say, to me, one of the funniest parts. Him and his crew at TI and
what was the ghost name?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, which is a real thing. So, like, if you know your stuff, it's we know why he's scared. Russians are terrified of Baba Yaga.
Oh yeah,
really,
Yeah.
man. I wonder if they saw me, they'd be like, Baba Yaga.
Is it spoilery to talk about the one of the villains? I guess.
I would say so.
Okay, so we should keep that a surprise.
I think, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So maybe next.
ooh.
Oh, go ahead.
I know. One more thing we can say: the de-aging CGI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting
was
better.
Great.
They're getting
Yes.
better, way better.
Yes.
It didn't look like plastic looking, or like
it wasn't like Tron.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
But Michelle Pfeiffer, she can still get it.
Yeah.
She can still get it.
Get what? Cameo?
Well, this is a family friend
His number,
show.
his phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, you're a married man now. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
Cameo, and you
God.
know she's watching too.
No, she's not. Is she watching?
Uh,
Love you, baby. Love you.
So yeah, okay. So we'll save it, but I will say, without being spoilery about the villain or anything, they continue with the kind of the theme of their villains. You almost feel sorry for in a way,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know, like, if they were to go completely opposite, who's the nastiest Marvel villain?
Dr. Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what's his face? Norman Osborn.
Oh, Green Goblin.
Yeah.
See, he's almost sympathetic in the way that he's just crazy.
Yeah.
So you almost feel for him of the man. If this guy had the right therapist and the right,
But see, the thing is, like, he could have that.
well, I mean, sure he could,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, you got to think of like, all the rich people out there that could have whatever they
Right.
want. They're not getting the help that they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, so probably Doctor Doom, and then honestly Thanos.
See, Thanos, though, to me, I mean, I guess we're talking about the movie or the comic. You know, I'm sure in the comic books he's, I know he's worse, but in the movie he was kind of sympathetic too, in a way, because I mean, it might be that you're a dark nihilist for being that sympathetic, but part of me was like, and he does it in a way that he's doing it behind the veil of ignorance, I guess, where he doesn't know who it's going to be. It's just going to be somebody not based on anything.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, I'm like, well, that's the way to do it. That's the best way to do it.
Right.
So I don't know if I think he's sympathetic or not, but
Yeah, well, and the way that Marvel's treating a lot of these characters, they could easily choose anyone and be like, oh, they are irredeemable. They are going to be the worst person out there.
Christian Cox said Carnage.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, but he kind of falls under the crazy thing too. But he's a different brand of crazy.
Yeah. He's like serial killer crazy.
Yeah,
good call, Christian. We do want to hear everybody else's suggestions on that.
But I will say this about Ghost, though. I'm not too familiar with with the character, but I have seen in the I think it was the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, and I think it was one of the Amazing Spider-Man comics, one of the newer ones, that he fought Ghost, and
in the comics, Ghost is a dude.
Yeah. And he didn't have the issue that what's her name, Hannah John Kamen, who plays Ava, who plays Ghost, had the same issues. It was that he was just trying to steal like technology.
Yeah, and in the comics, the suit. The more you use it, the more you get addicted to it, and it drives you crazy.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. So like you don't realize that you're getting addicted to this thing.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, if everybody out there, if you got a villain who's, I want to know. Doctor Doom, though, is your pick.
Oh man. Well, ask me a question of what's the best, what's the most extreme, whatever. I'll give you Fantastic Four, and I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
Now that you say Doctor Doom, he is pretty heinous. Like,
well, what's the worst thing he's ever done?
Okay, so he sacrificed his own mother's soul. Like, the big thing was he was always trying to save his mother's soul from hell.
Okay.
It was the thing. And, he was going off to kill Reed Richards. So he made armor out of his own mother's skin.
Oh.
And he made a deal with 3 demons to like take down the Fantastic Four.
That's kind of like
and they were like, you'll definitely do it. The only thing you have to do is say, hey, when you defeat them, these 3 demons, are the ones who helped me. And like he took down everybody, and he ruined everyone's life, and it was terrible.
kind of reminds me of Silence of the Lambs. He did that type of deal. Took his own skin.
Yeah. Hannibal the Cannibal.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Doctor Doom and Hannibal, both doctors. So
Yeah.
doctors be crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Dr. Kevorkian? Yeah.
Yeah. So we went from Ant-Man and the Wasp to Dr. Kevorkian.
Michael Jackson's doctor?
That was, well.
Yeah.
Way to bring us all down, Cameo.
Yeah, I mean, we just talking about the doctors that are bad. So
Yeah,
I'm just
well.
saying.
We're all having a good time,
And, Dr. Kevorkian, he helped people.
Yeah, to die.
To die. Okay.
But overall, Ant-Man, no P movie.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
3 no P's.
Yep. Actually, I had to go pee because I had to take my child.
Yeah, well.
So, or
that
children,
happens.
I should say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that wasn't cool. So, don't take any kids to go see this movie.
All right. That's our recommendation. Bug, you also say that everybody should go rush out
Man,
and see it.
go see it before it gets spoiled, because, oh, my God.
Yeah. Somebody, if you get talking long enough, somebody will spoil it.
I ain't even mad. I sure will. I sure will.
Yeah, you did. All right, let's. Buck hasn't seen Luke Cage
Oh,
yet.
is this where I need to?
If you don't want it spoiled, because like I said,
Yeah, I'll go talk to the wife for a little bit.
yeah. Give her a call and we'll ring
Yeah.
you back up here in just a second. But that does bring us to our Nerdflix and Chill segment. Does that get you in the mood for some Luke Cage right there?
Yeah, it does.
I don't want to know what else it got you in the mood for, but it is called Nerdflix and Chill, so
That is true.
that means, you got to put on some Luke Cage and get down.
That's right.
So, yeah, we're going to talk spoilers. So, again, if you haven't seen it, this is not the time to be watching. Although we don't want you to go away, but
No.
maybe go make a sandwich or something, and we'll talk about it for a little bit. Or
And bring me one, too.
yeah, there is a Subway right next door.
Yeah.
We'll mention that one more time. Even though they're not paying, you need to pay us, Subway.
Right.
But, of course, the song that we were listening to for a second, Wu-Tang, the reason I played it is because
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with.
Yeah.
Little G-rated version. For you.
Yeah. I can't even say the title of that song because...
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
no, well, that one's Ruckus, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
There's a different one that I think they played too. There's they played a few different Wu-Tang songs, and then Ghostface Killah was on the was one of the performers.
KRS-One?
Yeah, KRS-One. Even though he's not in the Wu-Tang.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying.
But Wu-Tang related, Luke Cage says, him and Method Man, they kick it.
Yeah, I like that.
I want to kick it with Luke Cage and Meth. Well, not Meth.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, well...
I call him by his nickname because we're cool.
I mean,
like
I know
that.
a dude named Luke, and I know a guy that sells meth.
Gross.
So...
I don't want to hang out. That is not what I wanted.
But that's what you said. You know what I was always told?
You're like that.
Say what you mean and mean what you say.
You're like that commercial where the guy's like, "Can you bring me a bear?" And like the bear busts through because he wanted a bare naked lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you. You
Yeah.
be bringing me the bear.
You know, like those, like, what was it? With Brendan Fraser and the British woman, Elizabeth Hurley, where he like sells his soul to the devil and he keeps asking her for all these stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like there was always something that would go wrong. Like he was like, I want to be
Was
the
it
best.
Hugh Grant in that?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah.
That's who it was.
Well,
And I think Morgan Freeman was in it too.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I love Luke Cage.
Yeah. Okay. So in the Marvel Netflix universe, I'm going to go out on the limb as of right now and put Luke Cage season 2 as the top one so far.
Oh yes.
Because the show, like I say, it really hits the ground running with action. And then it takes us on this story arc of Luke Cage that, man, it gets deep. And like the way that it all ends, spoilers, it's very much like the Power Man comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
You see him in the suit and everything at the very end, and you're like, oh, he sold out. He sold out. But the thing about it is he starts, at the beginning where he doesn't have nothing. He's broke. Pops is about to be gone.
Right.
But he's doing all this good stuff for people, but he had just been in jail and all that. So, he gets, it's just not, things aren't great for him, but he loses, I feel like, a little bit of more of his innocence as the season goes on, and which becomes a problem for the night nurse.
Yeah.
Claire, who, spoilers, we get to see her for a few episodes and then she gone.
Yeah.
So
Just like a woman.
And I remember there was news that she it's bad enough we're called Nerds and Men, and probably women don't think that we want them to listen. But then Cameo over here.
Just big mean. I'm sorry.
He loves
I love women.
He does. So, but I forgot where I was.
You said Night Nurse wasn't in that.
I had heard that she was going to be done playing.
Oh, really?
Claire, and then I don't know if that happened midway through this or I don't know. I felt like, and because we got to see Misty Knight too come into her own some more. And man, there was a scene where she's fighting these dudes and she tries to swing at them with her nub.
Oh, yeah, when she's with Colleen.
And she doesn't realize, she forgets that she doesn't have the arm anymore. And that was like, it was very impactful because then that dude hits her and, man, you feel bad for her.
I do. And not just because she was a, handicapped with that.
Right.
It was that the way that he hit her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like when Charlie Murphy got hit by Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. It wasn't good. There was nothing good about that.
No, it wasn't. I was just like.
But she really gets to be badass throughout the season.
Man, I love Misty
that
Knight.
scene. Okay, well, before, like, the one thing I will say that was kind of weird was when Danny Rand and Colleen gets her the robot arm.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really make a bit. It's like all of a sudden she just has it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, a gift from."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much they should have gone into that. Maybe it was perfect the way it was, but that seemed kind of odd to me. It was just like,
the crazy thing is too is that I heard that in the comics she got that arm from Tony Stark. So since I don't know why they didn't do that.
It makes sense. Danny Rand's probably almost as rich as Tony. Maybe not as
right.
Is he?
I'm possibly.
I need to see them receipts. Forrest, if you could hunt up Tony Stark and Danny Rand's financial earnings. Is that what you already got it for me right there? All right, let's see who makes more per year. Tony Stark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
Man, what was all those numbers on there for? Like, was that his bank account as of now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Crazy.
No, but yeah. So I think that was pretty cool that they used him instead of Stark.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool too that Ultron was supposedly made by Hank Pym. Am I right? Hank Pym. Okay. No. All right. Cool. So, but Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And Banner took credit for that. So I like how they're like
right.
using what they got in their own little story mode. So
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
And like I say, it was interesting for Luke Cage because he starts to really kind of like beating people up, and he likes the attention he's getting to where even Claire says. It's good in a way because it allows other people that are working around him to kind of, be behind the scenes, but he's getting distracted by it all too. Mm-hmm. But it's a really good show. I feel like some of the shows are darker, like Punisher. This one is as in it's serious, but it just has that flavor to it, like
it's more gray. Than happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
Than dark and dreadful like Punisher.
But man, okay, so like I say, these are spoilers. But when Bushmaster cuts that dude from eye to eye,
oh my God!
And then Mariah, we see her, really embrace her.
She sheds her skin in this.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Especially with the snakes.
Right? Yeah.
Good job, Cameo.
See what
I think
did
he
there.
was waiting on that
I
one.
was.
But no, that's a great way to put it because, like we see before where she kind of embraces the gangster side of her family, but she really wanted to do better things. Mm-hmm. But in this one, man, she betrays everybody, shades everybody. She doesn't care.
Well, I think it was more of Shades betraying her
in a way, but she pushed him to it.
Yeah, because she got stupid crazy.
Mm-hmm. And so again, I hate to keep saying it, and people get annoyed, but this is spoilers. When her and Shades go to take out the Jamaican family,
the what do they call it? The rum punch.
Yes. The
massacre?
Rum Punch Massacre. And she sets the dude on fire. That was probably one of the more gruesome things I've seen on TV.
Yeah, it was.
It was CGI'd, but
right.
Was, the way they had it so drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. And it kind of. You don't watch Arrow anymore,
right?
But I think it was this last season where a guy that kind of looks like Shades is in Arrow. And he does the exact same thing as Mariah does to an old bully that he grew up with in the foster home. So I was like, oh, man, that's like these people really setting people on fire. Like, really?
Oh my gosh.
Like, what?
And Shades, like you had mentioned it earlier before. You were like, did he get a conscience? Not a conscience. Conscious.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's conscious.
Conscience.
Yeah.
I always question myself when I say either of those. He got a conscience.
They sound similar.
Yeah. And he got a conscience. Maybe a little bit. I mean, he definitely didn't want to go down as far as Mariah wanted to go.
See, I think what his killings were for a reason,
and I think he followed a code in a way.
Yeah,
no innocence or whatever.
Because whenever Pop's store got shot up, and it was, I forgot who the guy that actually shot it up. And Luke, he was like, you were here when they shot up the place, and he was like, I wasn't the one shooting.
Right.
And Luke Cage was like, well, you still had the gun.
Yeah, you were holding a gun.
Yeah.
So, and which is true. I mean, you can't be there and be like, well, I didn't kill the guy.
Well, yeah, and a thing too is that Shades he loved Harlem, and because whenever he gave that sob story about a guy that owned this, bodega or a sandwich shop or whatever it was.
Right.
And he was like, he's been the owner since, I was a kid. And, when all this stuff was going on, he got shot. And he was like, I'm sick of it.
Well, couldn't you make the argument that Mariah loved Harlem? I think it's in a way that an abusive person loves somebody.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say they do, but the things that they do really just hurt Harlem and only benefit her in the long run.
Well, see, and you see how she treated her daughter, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I called it in a way. I asked Stephanie Cerny last week. I was like, tell me, because I thought it was going to be Cottonmouth.
No.
Was going to end up being, but it ended up being Mariah's uncle, not her cousin.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I kind of thought that's how they were going to go with it based off a few things some hints that they put out there.
Well, and her character is Nightshade in the comics, and she dressed up at the end scene as her comic book character, and it looked pretty cool. I'm going to pull it up.
Oh, Tilda?
Yeah, Tilda.
Tilda's
Tilda Johnson.
Yeah.
Not Stokes.
Right. So I would like to be a little bit more knowledgeable about Luke Cage and Iron Fist as far as the comics, but Cameo's had my book for about a year and a half.
It ain't been that long.
Told me that he was going to bring it today so I could research.
It was in my car, but
dang.
See, look at that.
Oh, dope.
That's how she had her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Had the two puffs and she had her hair around it. This one's a headband.
I kind of thought she was going to end up with Bushmaster.
I feel like she will probably next season or.
I also felt like they were trying to push Misty Knight and Luke Cage together a little bit. Like he saw her tackling that dude, and he was like,
oh, "Dang, girl, you could tackle me all night, baby. Want to go get some coffee?"
I do have to admit that the whole season of Luke Cage, anytime Simone Missick was on camera, I was like, "Dang, girl."
Yeah. And if you want to scroll through our old posts, I did an interview with Simone Missick. Before the first season came out.
Yes.
So
we'll dig that up and make sure we put it back up on Facebook and YouTube because
maybe we'll do it on Throwback Thursday or something.
Cool. She's awesome. I love her. Do you think that we're gonna get more of her, like any kind of spinoff or anything like that?
I don't think she'd be a good spinoff character. We can ask, Buck that whenever he comes on. But I don't think she would be a good spin-off character. I think she just needs to be a team-up.
Well, let's talk about the penultimate episode, I feel like.
God.
He loved it that much. He has to run around the shop all crazy. But it was, I feel like everybody who watched Luke Cage Season 2 would agree.
Oh, my God.
That episode 10 is probably...
Let's play patty cake.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay, finally. And honestly, I try not to be too loud for the people that are maybe here in the shop that haven't. But honestly, I kind of thought that we would see a little bit more of Iron Fist. but we got like
No, we got just enough, just a little taste. That was it.
But
that
it was an awesome taste.
Yes,
like,
it was.
They do they go on like Heroes for Hire type, and so first of all, I'd ask, what did you think about Danny Rand's fighting style? Has it improved, as some of the early reviews stated?
I think it has improved tremendously, but that could also be with the camera movement that was going on and him not having a job. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I think he's done a lot better.
His style is reserved,
Mm-hmm.
and he even talks stillness.
Yeah,
so he's not just out. He's not the most exciting fighter still,
mm-hmm.
but I thought teaming him up with Luke Cage made it even better.
Yeah, and
like you said, the patty cake, the
fastball special, even though they didn't call it that, where he just picked him up and threw him.
Yeah, it was great. And part of me was even like, man, this whole fight is unnecessary, because sometimes Luke Cage will just bonk, and like people just night. Like, why does he do that all the time? I think because he kind of enjoys beating some people up.
And towards the end of, I think it was the last episode, he kind of reminded me of Batman in a way.
Yeah.
Because he was just like breaking people's arms and fingers and ankles, and not on basketball court, like actually breaking ankles.
Yeah.
So I like how he's becoming a darker person, but I feel like this is where he had to go with this character,
right?
Because I think he even said it to Claire, saying the police aren't doing anything,
right?
So I need to do something,
right?
And I like how he's basically taking matters into his own hands. But
I mean, I feel like you gotta have a darkness to do what he's doing in a way, because you're gonna see a lot of gruesome, horrible things, and have to deal with that. And then you have to kind of, if you're gonna fight fire with fire, sometimes. Right. So,
I was glad that Sugar's character explained his nickname.
Yeah,
because I was just like, I felt like in the original Kings of Comedy, where Cedric the Entertainer talking about, I ain't gonna call no grown man delicious, and like they're calling him like Sugar, and I'm just like, why y'all calling him Sugar? Like, is he sweet? Like what? Like what's the deal?
For a minute, I thought Shades was gonna go to work for Luke Cage.
Me too.
Which I wouldn't have hated.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we get to the end. And I'm not going to tell everything, but like I say, what did you think about the very end? I'll say this: it definitely left me wanting season 3.
Oh man, definitely.
But did you kind of have any feelings about him basically taking Mariah's role? Because I feel like they're saying they're saying it's better the devil better Luke Cage to run. The underbelly of Harlem.
I didn't really.
Or is he going to, just clean up Harlem Nights and make it all legit?
I hope so. I hope it gets to that way, because again, I don't want to give away too much, anyways, of the show. But I feel like whatever they told him, whether it be Tilda being there or something else happened, and I'm hoping that, because I think one of the final scenes we see D-Dub asking for help on Pop's store, and I'm hoping that wasn't something happened to him,
right?
And that's why he's like, oh no, why did I do this? I should have been at Pop's this whole time, So hopefully, whatever happens, maybe this might switch his thinking up after, once we get to season 3.
Like I say, I thought it was cool because of the way that it arced.
Yeah.
But like I say, I don't want to see him doing that for much longer.
Nah. But
I got to bring up Bushmaster, though, because we spend a little time on everybody, but Bushmaster, hot dang, he was awesome.
Bushmaster was amazing.
And Buck had mentioned on a different show that he's not as cool in the comic book. So,
he's not?
That's what he said. Maybe it was on his New World Comics podcast. which is a little plug for that. But we'll ask him again here when he gets back, because I think we're pretty much done with our spoilers. But
yeah, overall,
it was a no pee series.
yes, no
you
pee
didn't
series.
pee for the whole
13 hours.
the whole 13
plus
episodes?
hours.
Yeah, Cameo did not pee.
Nope.
I wore a diaper. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no need to lie to kick it.
But yeah, so I'll say, season 2 of these Netflix shows, season 2 of Luke Cage is number 1.
Okay, I agree with that.
Punisher season 1 is second.
I'd probably say yeah. That's a good call.
Luke Cage season 1.
Okay, that's where I would probably put Daredevil season 1,
Mm-hmm.
and you put Luke Cage season 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I put Daredevil season 2 because I like him in the suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then 1 and 3 of Daredevil. Then Defenders. Then Iron Fist. No,
Dang.
Jessica Jones.
I was gonna say you put the Defenders over Jessica Jones season 1.
Yeah,
or?
Jessica Jones season 1. Then Jessica Jones season 2, and then Iron Fist.
I'd probably go Luke Cage season 2, Punisher, Daredevil season 1, and then Daredevil season 2, Jessica Jones season 1, Iron Fist, Defenders, everything else. What is left? Season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Man, that's too many to try to that's like trying to rank Marvel movies now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot.
Hold on, let me list off 20 movies and tell you my exact order.
Now, we were trying to recall if we talked about it, because the podcasts sometimes run together. Like, I'm like, did we talk about this on New World Comics or Nerds the Men or Jack and Ron? I don't know. But Bushmaster.
Oh, yeah, we did that on New World last.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were saying he's different than the
terrible
in the comics.
He's got a shotgun arm, and he's terrible. He's the running gag of all the villains.
Wait, I thought that was Bushwhacker.
Oh no! Oh my God, you're right. Nerd card revoked.
I don't think yours can be revoked.
Oh
No.
man!
So is that Bushwhacker?
Yeah, that's Bushwhacker. Bushmaster's part of the Serpent Society, right?
Yeah. I'll be over here in my place. Yeah. See, and man, I pride myself in reading the most obscure, terrible comics. And, Serpent Society is like
There.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any thoughts as to why they were picking that? As far as for the show, it's worked out well, I thought, with Cottonmouth and.
Well, I think they're just trying to build up the whole Serpent Society.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I could see that being the thing because they're not ever going to be in the movies.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
What about Misty Knight? Do you think that we would see any kind of spinoff for her? Cameo thinks that she might not be a good candidate.
I don't think so. The actress is amazing, and the way that they portray her in the show is awesome, and they've really tried in the comics to make her stand out and really be something. And she just doesn't. And they're getting ready to try to do that again. They're going to have another Marvel series where she's in charge of taking down all sorts of other threats that we don't necessarily always see. And maybe they'll see if that takes off, then maybe she'll get a series. But
who would you guess might be the next? If we were going to get, I don't know that we're going to get any more, but if there was going to be a Marvel, I would like to see Moon Knight.
Oh, definitely. That's definitely the one that everyone's like, okay, is it going to be a movie or a TV series?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas it needs to kind of be a TV series just because there's so much to explore. But he could be the next big property, so I could see where they wouldn't want to. My nephew Ben was saying the other night, like, hey, did you know that they're going to do this as or Marvel's wanting to do more obscure characters for their next movies? I said, well, yeah, duh, just because
they got to.
Well, name a major Marvel property that they haven't done out, short of X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Right.
And he said, oh, I got nothing.
Yeah. So who would you want next on Netflix? Or I would like to see, and I don't guess this would happen, but like DC. Oh, well, aren't they doing Nightwing as an HBO show?
I think so.
I'd heard
Wait,
that, but
what?
I had heard it, but I still haven't heard like anything since then. Of course, we did see like a Robin picture for Titans the other day. Yeah, but I would like to see Nightwing either on Netflix or if it is going to be an HBO show, even better. But
Yeah. Who would I want to see? Just any character?
Let's say Marvel, since that's been the.
Okay.
But mine would be Moon Knight, or like a villain would be cool if they had it from just the whole show was more about a villain.
Oh yeah,
That would be dope.
I like if they would do a series of Deadpool, I would love that.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Well, they were going to do the animated with Donald Glover, and then
True.
I don't know why that fell through.
Well, with because you remember when I think it was John Bernthal was saying how he loved doing the actual show compared to a movie because you have 13 hours to develop the character.
Right.
Like, I would love to see more of Deadpool, of his like shenanigans and all of that. But since we already have movies of him, I don't know.
With that, I would almost be afraid of all of it getting old. Because think 13 hours of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is true.
That could get old a little bit. It could.
Like it's fun when your class clown acts out a little.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
if you have to sit all day hearing
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our nerd update for this week. We got a good one. Jared Leto. We can't quit talking about him. He won't go away. And we got mixed reactions when I posted this up online because basically he's been announced that he's going to be in both the DC WB and MC. Is it EU? What's the the Marvel?
No, just MCU.
MCU, yeah. So he's going to play Morbius in the film. So, like I say, some people were like, ugh, because I think they're just tired of Jared Leto. And some people, they might not see him as being a good Morbius. You guys' reactions on hearing that?
Mine was, why Morbius? I mean, like, it's not a bad fit, but why Morbius? Like, he's not that big of a character.
Yeah, and I don't know much about Morbius other than what I've seen in little bit in comics that I've read with him in it, and in the '90s Spider-Man cartoon. Like, I mean, he wasn't really anything big,
Right.
so it's just like, okay. And I know that you asked if he was part of the Sinister Six, and he wasn't. So it's just like, I know that Sony was saying that they're wanting to do a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is part of them starting it all off.
Do you think that they would add him in even if it wasn't?
It's really hard to say just because back when they were doing Amazing Spider-Man, they were going to do. Here are 5 Spider-Man villains, and also Spider-Man's part of the Sinister Six, and and that's how that was going to play out.
Okay.
And it was that's a terrible idea.
Well, and I'm wondering if they got that idea from the latest Spider-Man cartoon show on Disney XD because Doc Ock formed his Sinister Six. And Spider-Man, like, he was mind controlling all of them, and Spider-Man was part of the Sinister Six. So I'm wondering if that's how
Part of that came from the Ultimate line of comics.
Oh, okay.
Like it was just one idea that someone had, and I guess the powers that be saw it and were like, "Oh, that's genius." Where it was okay.
Yeah.
But as far as all the ideas that Sony's been having, it's let's do a Black Cat Silver Sable movie, and it's why?
I mean, I'm not going to say no. I mean, just as long as they don't get Halle Berry to play Black Cat. I mean, I'm just saying. She was horrible as a Catwoman, so I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, me personally, I didn't know much about Morbius, so it wasn't one thing or the other. It's just that it was Jared Leto. But I still like Jared Leto. I liked a lot of his movies. I don't like his band at all. But
What's his band?
40 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, 30
Seconds
Seconds,
to
yeah.
Mars. Yeah.
They're coming.
I've seen him twice though.
Oh, so
Once-
you do like him?
No,
No, he was a fan. And then
Oh,
he was
okay.
a fan the first time, and the second time.
the first time
like,
I
"No."
went because of a lady,
Uh-huh.
and I think we saw them up at the Bricktown Brewery. It was like a real small place. And then the second time they were opening up for Audio Slave, and so I had to go see that. And then,
I had to go.
well, no, I had to. I wanted to see Audio Slave,
Uh-huh.
but they were opening, and I think because of the radio station, we were doing a meet and greet,
Oh, okay.
and I had to take the listeners and meet. They had to meet Jared Leto.
Oh, okay.
But I loved him in Fight Club.
Uh-huh.
He's made a lot of good movies, and I didn't hate him as the Joker. We've talked about this. I
Yeah.
didn't hate him. I just didn't like what whoever did the movie did
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
I think Jared Leto's one of those guys that you can say do this, and he'll probably be able to do it.
Yeah.
Have you? This is kind of off track, but I mean, not really. But have you seen his Netflix show or movie?
Oh yeah, I think I started to watch that. Where
Like he's in Japan.
yes, yeah.
And now he's like working with Yakuza or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started to watch it, but I didn't get too
Okay.
far into it. Was
Okay.
it? Was
I was asking you just if you saw it.
yeah, I don't have a good recommendation on that yet, but I will watch it
Okay.
because I know people have said it was pretty good. I can't
Oh,
remember
really?
the name of it, but yeah, I've heard
Okay.
good things about it. But like I say, how many of these people are able to go from Marvel to DC the movies? Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's his face? Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, well.
But not congruently, though. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Congruently. Okay.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that as time goes on. But,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Well, there's probably going to be more movies than actors at some point.
yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's kind of what I worry about with the Morbius movie is, we're going to see a huge failure on one of these, and something like, oh, into the superhero movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's both within kind of, but you had Brolin playing Thanos and
Cable.
Yeah.
But this and the one thing I think with that is because Cable looked more like Brolin, but Thanos was all CGI and makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with Morbius, probably that you're not going to recognize Jared Leto as much. I would think. I mean,
Right.
if he looks like anything like he did in Dallas Buyers Club, that's pretty close to Morbius. Without,
that's fair. Yeah.
without the what does he have a goatee on this?
yeah,
Yeah.
And he's all just
Like all thin.
yeah.
I mean, honestly,
He was great in Dallas.
Yeah, he
Buyers
was.
Club.
He was.
there was one time I saw a picture of Ethan Hawke when he looked really rough. I was like, he looks just like that drawing of Morbius. It was like-
Ethan Hawke. I forgot about
Yeah.
him.
I could see.
What's he
Ethan
doing?
Hawke. He's in like horror movies and stuff lately.
Is who's the one that's
Purge, I think.
Penny Dreadful? Is that him in there, or is that Josh Hartnett?
Ooh, I don't
That's
think it
probably
was.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get those. I get them mixed up.
But yeah, he was looking rough. And I was like, ooh, he looks just like Morbius right now.
So I mean,
Or, hey, how about Macaulay Culkin? Yeah, I mean,
I see it.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
So, yeah, some vampire bites me and goes, ah! Yeah.
terrible. All right. Well, like I say, I'm neither for it or against it at this point. I'd watch it. I'll watch it.
yeah.
So, but we do have some picks from Bucks, the Bucks picks, since we're here at the store.
Yeah, and since you brought up Morbius, you requested me talk about this one.
Yeah.
So those interested, we have Legion of Monsters, if you want to get to know Morbius a little bit better. There are some monsters that are out killing people, and Elsa Bloodstone is trying to track him down.
Right.
And it's up to Morbius and his group of, monster friends to go and disprove all these murders and stop her and help her find the real killers.
Right. I'm going to have to check it out because I love horror monsters and, vampires and all that, and really didn't know that this was kind of part of the Marvel universe, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I'm going to check it out.
The first time that we really saw this group act, in continuity as like, here's a group of friends who are out doing their own thing, was right after Dakin killed Punisher.
Right.
He got better, of course, but
Cameo, this isn't an excuse for you to read the whole comic for free. Just so you know. You hurry up and buy.
You read, you buy.
But yeah, the Legion of Monsters, that looks pretty dope. I'm gonna have to get that. Did we see? Oh, what's his name? Ghost Rider at all? Or
not in this. No,
Okay.
he wasn't really active during that time. So
because I could see that being something that would intersect.
The original Legion of Monsters was Morbius, Man Thing, and Ghost Rider, and I think Spider Woman.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it was a What If issue or a Marvel Premiere issue.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So Legion of Monsters. If you want to get caught up on a little bit of Morbius and
Real quick, this isn't Warwolf, is it? Or
No, that's Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's the right response.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. It's
No,
not
like-
Warwolf, it's Warwolf by Night.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's just a werewolf, but
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. What do you got next, Buck?
All right. So then you'd asked me to talk about Punk Rock Jesus.
Yeah, I keep seeing this in the store, and I'm like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
The title looks awesome.
Yeah, Sean Murphy is amazing. He just did a Batman White Knight series.
Oh,
where,
okay.
Joker was the good. Yeah, it's awesome, and he has a whole line of DC comics coming, and this is one of the first ones he did, and it takes place in the not too distant future where a reality show decides that they're going to clone Jesus.
Okay.
They get the Shroud of Turin and they take some DNA, and they get a female to be the perfect host.
Right.
So she gives birth and then there's twins, and then they have to get rid of the daughter, and like it's this whole thing. And then as Jesus gets older, he like miracles start happening, and they're like, oh, it's definitely this thing. But no one's 100% sure about everything, and then like Jesus starts kind of turning as a not accepting authority, being what it is, not unlike a certain other Jesus. So it's really, really great. And
Are you allowed to even touch this cameo?
Yes, I can touch this book.
yeah,
Get out of here.
No. One of my very good friends was one of my dearest friends in the world was a Catholic priest, and he read it and loved it. He was like, "Oh, okay, I thought that this was going to be a completely different thing, and it's not written in any kind of sacrilegious thing. It's
Yeah.
It's more a social commentary than anything.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's coming home with me too. Get your paws off my book.
I got plenty to go around.
What else do you got here?
So, coming out this week, I just saw this on the shelf. I've only read a little bit about it, but it's got almost all my favorite X-Men characters. Coming out this week, Astonishing X-Men number 13 starts a brand new story arc with Havoc, Dazzler, Beast, Colossus, and Warpath.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dazzler's one of your favorite X-Men?
Oh, man.
Really?
Yeah, well, okay, so the old Pride of the X-Men, like VHS that came out way back when, she was on there, and her power is to convert sound into light. So, like, if she snaps her fingers, she can make a lasers. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Okay.
And then it turns out that, like, over the years, she's been training and, like, building herself up, and she became, like, a SHIELD agent, and, like, she can do everything now.
Yeah, I will say Warpath is awesome.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care for him in the was it not X-Men Apocalypse, but
Days of Future Past?
Days of Future Past. Yeah. I didn't really care for him in that, but even though we barely got to see him in anything,
it was nice to see him, but yeah.
I did like him in the Fox show.
Gifted?
Gifted. That's yeah. I did like him in that though. He was pretty cool in that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the cool thing about each one of these characters is it looks like this book is written with all of these characters in mind, because Colossus is more or less a pacifist, whereas Warpath isn't afraid to kill people. Havoc is used to playing second fiddle to the greatest X-Man, greatest leader ever, and like he's been a villain before, and he has to, like, he's always having to prove himself.
Yeah.
And Beast is one of the old school X-Men who's, like one of the greatest heroes around, but everyone looks at him as just like, so you didn't want to be a mutant, so you messed yourself up.
Yeah.
And you're kind of half in, half out of this. And then Dazzler's like, oh, I'm just an X-Men for fun.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys need me, I'll be there, but you guys really aren't all that cool.
Yeah.
So it looks like a really cool team and a really interesting way to go about things. So
Gotta check that one out.
yeah, so I had that, and then just thinking about other things that people should read. This is the last time that the X-Men were great.
Okay.
Yeah, the Astonishing X-Men. It's written by Joss Whedon, who
Right.
did Firefly, Serenity,
Yeah.
Buffy, Dr. Horrible, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it takes the X-Men characterizations like back to what we all remember them.
Oh,
being.
yeah.
Anytime that Wolverine's doing something, you see his thought bubble. Man, I want a beer.
Right.
Yeah, and then Cyclops is perpetually thinking like, okay, so we're in this situation. We need to be in formation A. We need to, yeah, and then Kitty Pryde's on there like, so Emma Frost is here. She tried to kill me when I was 13. She was the first, villainess that I went against. What are we gonna do?
Right. And so it's a lot of fan service, you would say, or
It sounds like it is, but it's just them kind of getting characterization back to where it needs to be.
right, doing it right.
Yeah, doing it right, and then they're telling a story, that just so happens to have all of those elements.
Gotcha. I mean, because Joss Whedon, he's a fan, right?
Yeah.
And when did he get to start writing the comic books? Was it after some of the movie stuff, or?
It was right around the time that Serenity was, becoming a bigger deal and almost a movie. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So this one's Astonishing X-Men?
Yeah, this came out early 2000s, like 2004, 2005.
Now, if we buy all these before people get here...
I've got plenty.
Okay, he's got plenty. Because usually what he does, he recommends them, and then I'm like, I'll take them.
Well, and and everything that I have here, I can get here by Friday if you let me know.
Awesome.
Awesome. And I do like how, because I didn't really enjoy the way the X-Men cartoon, and in the comics too, how they depicted Beast. Just like a man with blue hair all over. I like how he actually looks like a beast.
Right.
Who's
The
depiction?
artist?
Yeah.
John Cassidy.
Okay.
He did Planetary. That's what he's best known for, which we'll talk about that in the next couple weeks. Planetary is probably the second best comic series ever written.
And now that I see why, because did Joss Whedon do the first X-Men movie, or no, First Class?
No. That was oh man, I'm blanking on his name.
It wasn't. Yeah, I know.
Matthew Vaughn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Joss Whedon did like the Avengers movie. Which?
He did both Avengers movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm wondering if John Cassidy had anything to do with the way Beast looked in First Class.
He may have done some.
Because he looked just like this.
Or they may have looked at that and done that. Oh yeah, let's steal from that. So
I don't know if we recommended this on the show one day, but I just have to. I've been toting this around and reading it since I bought it up here.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles Volume 1. It's so good.
Kevin
Shell
Eastman.
Unleashed.
Yeah, Kevin Eastman signed that copy for me. I was like, yes. And you know what he said? He was like, "This is one of my favorite stories right here." I was like, "Oh yeah,
Nice." I'll trade you.
Nope.
You have my
1,000
Iron Fist still.
yeah, I was going to say
Dollars.
right now is the perfect time to trade. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's halfway in.
all right.
Okay, let's talk. This isn't a pick, but I do want to mention because it comes out at midnight tonight, I guess.
Oh,
Batman
yeah.
50.
Batman 50.
He dies.
Well, there
wasn't supposed
is.
to tell anybody that?
We're not going to spoil it because
DC already did.
right. So tell everybody kind of what happened with that.
All right, yeah. So in a move to try to drum up some publicity, because they're letting us do a midnight release for that and Captain America, a whole bunch of other stuff. They decided to have the New York Times run a story on it, and they ran the story I think Friday, spoiling what happens in the end of it, and it's a really big deal, it's intended to be.
Right.
And they just came out and spoiled it. And it's not the first time that a company's come out and done that. And it's getting kind of old, because the day that Captain America, died, most recently, I guess, he, they came out and said, hey, everyone pick up this issue because Captain America dies. But they didn't tell the retailers, hey, order more.
Right.
So we were like, oh, no, what do we do?
Yeah. Well, does that hurt like anything for you as owning a shop? Is the excitement going to be less now?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are way less excited about this book already.
Right.
So
and like we said, when I heard the spoiler today, it disappointed me too. I was like,
Yeah.
I would have rather read it than know about it.
Right, and I mean, I took the time out today and to read it, and it's honestly one of the best Batman stories I've read.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's a very moving issue, and it even has a moment where I teared up a little. It was that's the sweetest thing I think I've seen in a Batman book.
Right. Well, so if you did get spoiled, then Buck's saying go ahead and pick up the book because you're still going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which we will too at midnight tonight.
Yeah, I see it right there. I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, we're getting subscriptions ready for sale for tomorrow.
Right. That's the pools.
Yeah. Every Tuesday we get that done, and then we just have to guard everything. Anytime someone comes, sorry, we can't sell you that. We can't let you look through it.
Right.
Yeah.
These are for sale for tomorrow. So.
But they could come here tonight. It's July 3rd for people if you're listening at a different time. But July 3rd.
Diamond Comics put out a release saying that we could sell everything this week tonight at midnight.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, well, then come by New World Comics. They're south of 63rd on Meridian here in Oklahoma City. And like I say, they're open 7 days a week anyway. So you come by and you'll be able to find anything. Not anything you want, maybe there might, but they'll help you at least.
Yeah, if we don't have what you're looking for, we could find you something that you'd at least enjoy.
Yeah, but you can see behind us a little bit. I mean, there's a panoramic view of everything in here. It's there's a lot to choose from. Toys as well, children's comics. So come out here. You're doing Superhero School this Saturday.
Yep.
Again, we're doing this July 3rd, but it'll be Lady Liberators.
Yeah.
And that will also feature the Wasp.
Yes.
That's pretty dope.
Will Evangeline Lilly be here?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, you got to ask. I mean,
I'd be here for sure. If that happened.
I definitely.
All right, so I'll find someone and just name them Evangeline Lilly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a Wasp. And then...
I said that all rude, like I'm not coming unless Evangeline Lilly's here. I do want to say, got a little homework for everybody, except for Buck. He's on top of it, but we're going to watch Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, and then we'll talk about that next week.
All right, so now's my part where I spoil cast the whole thing. And then...
Oh, I'm leaving. I just watched a trailer of it, though. It looked good, and you were saying it's very true to the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that it should have been the script for a live action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to watch that and talk about it next week. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for this show, guys.
All righty.
Cool. Buck, thank you so much for being here. We love having you.
Thanks for having me.
And having us here at the store. You're kind of the third Nerd to Men.
Yeah.
You were a nerd. Now you're a man.
I'm going to tell my wife.
Yeah.
She's going to be so proud.
Yeah. Like, why are they lying to you?
Yeah.
That's funny. But that's it for this week. We'll see you next week on Nerds to Men.
So keep it nerdy.